Hi there, this is Art and Such, and today I have a Rainbow Loom tutorial for you for Wednesday from the Addams Family. Again, I'm following the original show design. If you want to try using gray or white for the face and the hands, you can. I'm gonna stick with skin tone because I didn't like the way it came out on my Gomez Addams. I will be doing one hair chain and one arm with you, and I'll have you pause to make the others. They're pretty straightforward though. For the eyes, I'm using small black beads. You can use other beads or bands. I would recommend beads though, as the dark bands tend to blend in with the hair more. And I'm using two very small round pearl beads for the buttons, but you can use a white band if you don't have any beads available. So let's get started. We're going to make our arms and our chains first. For the hair chain, and for either of these you can use double bands or doubled over bands, but the doubled over bands will look looser. You might have to play around with lengths. I'm going to use doubled over, so I'm taking a single, I'm wrapping it 3 times. This is black because this will be for the hair, and I'm going to pull it onto one doubled over band and put the new end back on. I'll pull it onto a second doubled over band and put it back on, and we want a total of 8, so I'm going to do this 6 more times. Two, 3, 4, this will be our 7th one because we had 2 to start there, and 1 more. You can adjust the length as you like. So this is one hair chain, and you'll need to pause to make a second one. And when you're ready, you can come back and we're going to do the hand. For the hand, you're going to take a single skin tone band. You can wrap it 3 times on your hook. This one I have here is a little stretch, so I'm going to wrap it 4. And we're going to pull this onto either 8 double bands if you want it looser. And when I say double, I mean just 2. Or 8 doubled over bands for the skinny arms that she has. There's 1 doubled over band. 2. We're going to do a total of 8 again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Pause your video, make 1 more, a single skin tone, wrap 3 times on your hook, and pulled onto 8 doubled over black bands. Okay, we're going to come to our loom now. We have it in the offset position with the middle row above the other 2. And using only doubles, so 2 bands on each set, we're coming down once from the top center to the top right with black bands, and from the top center to the top left with black bands. Down either side once with black bands, 1 set of skin tone coming down. In the middle, we're coming down 3 times, 3 sets of skin tone, and we'll take 1 set from the 3rd peg on the right to the 4th in the center, and 1 from the 3rd left to the 4th center, and then we come down from our 4th center to our 5th center with double skin tone. From here we're going to make a little white collar, and for that we need 2 white bands to come from our 5th center to our 5th right, 5th center to the 5th left, another 2. We'll come down once, 1 set in the middle, and then I'm just going to stop that section here for now because we're going to add buttons. And on either side it's 4 sets of double black. So pause your video, check that you have everything in place here. And then we can add our arms to the 5th pegs down on either side, and our hair extensions to the 2nd peg down. And I'll put those on for you, and then you'll get to see what it looks like. These are going to spring up a bit, and there's a kind of remedy for that I'll show you when we're all done. Okay, on the 2nd and the 5th. We'll put the hair extension on the arm on the opposite side. The same spaces, just on, as I say, on the opposite side, so on the right side now. Okay, let's do our buttons. If you are using white bands, what you'll do is wrap a single white over your hook and pull it onto a single black. And this is going to go on top of another black from your 6th center peg to your 7th, like so. If you are using, and you'll repeat this for the next set, if you are using beads, then you'll want to thread your bead onto a single black band. I'm going to use dental floss. Put your dental floss through. You could use a twist tie or similarly thin object in its place. I'm going to put my dental floss through my black band, and then I'm going to bring the dental floss back around and back through my white bead. I happen to have one with a very small hole, so I can't do this right off my hook, and it makes it a little slow going, but once you have it in the middle, this can go on top of that single black coming from your 6th peg to your 7th peg. We're just going to put each end onto one of those pegs. And we're going to do one more bead button or band button if that's what you have. I'm putting a single black on the set underneath, and then I need to thread my other bead onto another black band. This is the same procedure I'm going to use when I make the eyes. So if you are ahead of me and want to make your eyes now and have beads, this is the same way you'll attach them, except you'll be putting both beads on at the same time. I'll show you that in a couple minutes as well. Okay, our second button goes onto, you're right in the middle of the loom now. This is your 7th peg to your 8th peg, I believe. And we're going to come down 2 times with double black bands from there. Oh, 1 time, so that it sits just above the sides. Let's do a quick side extension for the base of the skirt. This gives it a little bit of a puff out. We're going to take a single band and wrap it twice, 3 times, and pull it onto double black bands, and pull it onto another set of double black bands. And this part looks a little bit confusing, but it isn't really. We are going to take the bands from the hook and put them on the 2nd peg from where we finished our dress, and then we're going to ignore this little puff at the bottom. We're going to take this in-between chain and put that on the bottommost peg. It's the 5th from the bottom. You can put them on in either order as long as you get all those bands on. So this is our kind of our capping band, and it's just going to sit on the side. We put the first set over that bottom and the second set on top. I'll do it again one more time. Single wrapped 3 times, pulled onto 2 sets of double bands. The top set is going to go onto that 6th peg from the bottom. If you stretch down the cap, you'll see a little hole here, and that's going to go onto the 5th set from the bottom, or the 5th peg from the bottom rather. hold it down as it goes. Okay, we're almost ready. We need some cap bands, we need our eyes. Let's do some triangle holding bands. For the face, we're just putting one from our third peg to our third peg and raising it above the third in the center. And we're going to use single bands coming down 3 times from under the arm here. Go across and up. The peg below, go across and up. And one more time. We'll need to make our legs in a minute, but let's put our eyes on while we're here. So once more, if you're using bands, you can take 2 black bands or even 2 white bands and wrap them onto your hook and then pull them together onto a single skin tone. If you're using, let me find one that's in better shape here. If you're using beads, then you'll pull them both onto a single skin tone band. I'm pulling my dental floss back through them both and we slide them on. This goes from our second peg to our second peg. And we're going to get our hook in between and bring one part of this band up and over. This will keep them from getting too close to each other, makes it a little more even. For our shoes and our legs, I think this is about our last part before we loop up. We're going to take 2 bands and wrap them 3 times onto the hook. You can use a single if you'd like, I just wanted a little added thickness on mine. And we are going to put it onto 6 sets of double black bands. And I'll make both legs with you, I don't have one here. So 2 bands, put them on the end, pull your wrapped bands on top until your whole piece is sliding nicely. Put the other end back on, and we need 5 more sets. So this will be our second set. Our third set. Pull all the bands off of the hook and on top. 4th set. 5th set. And 6th set. We are not going to add this on just yet. We're going to make a second leg and then we can add them together. So give it a little tug adjustment and start your next one. Once more, 2 black bands wrapped 3 times on the hook. Pulled onto 6 sets of double black bands. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. We're going to take both legs and we're going to pull them together onto a single doubled over band. This will help keep the dress together, and it's also going to act as a kind of a cap band or holding band at the bottom here. You'll take one end and put it over that 5th peg from the bottom on the right and one on the 5th peg from the bottom on the left. I'll put this on so you can see. So it's just going straight across, the legs in the middle. You'll put your hook underneath and bring this over the center. So we have a triangle formation again, and it'll be easier to get to this piece. And it looks like this is all in order for us to start looming. So let's get this, go up the center. We're going to take the bottom 2, loop them up and over. Grab your next 2, loop them up and over. Don't worry about the buttons just yet. And we're going to loop up until we reach the neck, which is our 5th peg from the top. Right here where the skin tone starts. Let's pick a side and we're going to loop up. You're looking for the bottommost 2 bands. You can even pull them to the side if it makes it easier, but what we need to do is push back the rest, get underneath, grab these with the front of your hook and pull them up and over to your next peg. Find your next 2 bottom ones, And they're coming from the peg above, and we're going to bring them up and through and back to where it came from. Let's keep looping up 2 more times. You get to the arms, you'll go in and find the bottom 2 whites and bring those back to the center. So come through the rest, push them all out of the way, get your 2 whites, and we'll repeat this on the other side, but perhaps a little faster. Okay, get your bottom 2 black. We're always going for the bottom 2 bands here. Your next 2 bottom black, and we're going straight up again. Go inside, get your bottom 2 white and pull them in. I don't want to go here. Here we are. Push it down, find your bottom 2 skin tone bands, and you'll need to pull this up through the others. This might be a little bit hard to do, and if you need, you can, as I'm doing, grab them one at a time as you find them. We're going to keep following the bands back in their path, except this time we're looking for the top 2 from under the neck, and they are going to go up to the right. Oh, they're going up to the left. The next 2 will go to the right, and the last 2 are going straight up. We can keep looping straight to the top. Push back your bands for the eyes. And we're going to loop up on either side. Find your bottom 2 skin tone. Push back the rest and bring it through and up and over. Find your bottom 2 blacks. Get those from underneath and pull them up and over. And finally, your last 2 will be coming back to the center. We're going to repeat this on the other side. We're almost done. Okay, push back everything until you get your bottom 2 black bands. I'm going to turn this to the side for a second just to see it better. Sometimes a new angle helps out a lot. And the last 2 come back diagonally from the top right to the top center. We're going to take a single black and pull it through the bands on your top center peg. So push the open part of the hook away from you as you come in. Hook your band under and pull it back up with the hook still away. Then you can turn it around, put your other end on, and create a slip knot by sliding the close side over the far side. Loosen your bands up as you take this off of your loom. Especially where you have extensions or doubled over bands, which we have, or even where you have a number of bands. It's going to be a little tight in some sections near the bottom, but not so bad. You need to pop the eyes through. Let's give them a little tug. Hide your securing band in the back. You can just throw this under a couple of bands and put it on a C-clip. And tuck this in. I'm going to put it under another band just to hold it in place better. If you have any loose bands, this is a good time to tuck them in. For our hair, we want to pull our skin tone bands over so that the black is showing through. Sometimes that stretches it out and you'll need to hide those, but we're okay so far. On the other side, pull your black hair through the skin tones. So again, it's on top. You'll see the buttons are kind of hiding here. We need to find them and push them up and through. And adjust them to where you want them. Now, the very last thing, and this is kind of what you might call a Rainbow Loom hack. If you are not happy with the way your bands are jumping out here, what you can do is take a band of any color. The jelly ones are a little bit tougher, but either which way. And you can put it over the head like so, and over the body You can even wrap it twice if you want. And what you do is you leave it for a night, and then I'll just show you and then I'll take it off. You can leave it for a night and then your bands should be sort of sitting straighter, or your arms, your limbs, your hair. So jelly works better because it's thicker, but this is essentially what you would do. And when you take it off the next day, your pieces will not be flopping around as much. They'll be a little bit tighter there. You can also weave your piece in and attach it to the body until you're happy with where it sits. And I think that's pretty much it. I'm gonna show you these from on top, what they look like. And I hope you'll check out some of my other Addams Family characters as they come out. Thank you for watching.